Hello everyone, welcome back to Luke's TV Talk. I'm going to go over some of the most recent TV episodes I've been watching. Just before I get started, I uploaded a video for She-Hulk episode 5, so if you're interested, go give that a watch. And make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future episodes. So for this video, I'll be going over The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, episode 4. So let's start off with some of the plot. So the Queen of Numenor has a vision of the city being destroyed by the ocean. The people of Numenor are also beginning to think elves are taking over. This is the one point in the episode where I'm ultra confused about why they would ever think this. Like, before, I can understand, like, if tons of elves were coming in and taking jobs, they would become a bit more worried about that kind of thing, like the elves taking over their city. But it's literally one elf that just so happened to be shipwrecked and brought to the city, and now they're just jumping to conclusions saying, oh yeah, elves are taking over. I'm not sure where they got that idea, and I'm not sure why they would ever think that, because I haven't seen elves in decades most likely, and now this one elf appears and they just jump to conclusions. I'm not sure how they get there. With the prospect of Sauron taking the Southlands, Galadriel proposes the people of Numenor join and fight with the elves. Arondir meets Adar, who is an elf. He lets Arondir go to deliver a message to the people that are staying at the Elven Watchtower. The people of the Watchtower are running low on food, so Theo and his friend visit the now abandoned village. But they get separated and Theo is trapped with the orcs close. So basically they're running out of food and they basically have been going hunting in the forest, but the orcs are just killing everything. They're killing all wildlife, they're killing all the farm animals, so there's hardly anything to hunt. So they go and get like stored up food that they've kept. When Theo is in one of the buildings, an orc attacks him and he sees that he's got the hilt and he's like, how do you have that? And he chases him around and they lose him. And they spend pretty much the rest of the day in the episode looking for Theo because they're looking for that hilt. They want it. With the work between Elrond and Durin going well, something seems off and the dwarves are hiding something. Elrond overhears the reason and location for the strange behaviour, and after some discussion, Durin explains that they have discovered a new ore, mithril. Everything's going well for the tower, for Celebrimbor, but Durin and the dwarves are being very secretive, and Elrond isn't sure why, so he talks to Durin's wife, and she's a bit back and forth on what she should actually say, and then Durin is off doing his own thing, but then he comes across a secret entrance, and there's like these like silvery veins in the wall, and Durin is not happy that he followed him, but because he's his friend, he makes him swear, and he tells him that it's this new mithril that a lot of people may know is what Frodo's vest is made of in the first Fellowship of the Ring. So that's what it's calling back to. So after her disagreement with the Queen, Galadriel is put into prison next to Halbrand. And after some discussion with Halbrand, she escapes. So basically the people of Numenor want to send the elf away now, and Galadriel's like, no, I need to sort out this problem with the Queen, so I'm going to go find her first and then I'll leave. Galadriel confronts the now bedridden king, and the Queen shows her the Seeing Stone, which showed her the vision. And the Queen talks about how the vision starts with the Galadriel appearing, and that's what sets off this motion of disaster, and that's why she's been so tepid on helping Galadriel, because she thinks it's going to cause the end of Numenor. Theo tries to escape, but is almost captured, only to be saved by Arondir. They run through the woods to the Watchtower. This is a really cool scene where Arondir and Theo are bolting through the woods, and they literally just get to the edge of the woods as the sun's coming up out of the clouds, and the orcs have no chance to get them, obviously, because the sun burns them, so they have to retreat for now. After a cave-in, Elrond and Durin have a heart-to-heart about their fathers. So basically Durin he's very different from his father. He's a bit more go-getter, but his dad is a bit more calm and doesn't want to risk anything. And Elrond talks about how his father did great things and is now gone, so Durin should look to spend as much time with his dad as he can. Durin reconciles with his father, and he also gives him a task to make sure that the elves are up to no good, which I think Durin kind of understands, but he doesn't want to not think that Elrond's being truthful with him, so he gets both sides. Theo is approached by one of the men from the village about the hilt and told about Sauron and to be ready. So clearly there's still groups and little pockets of support for Sauron still, because obviously we all thought all these villages are not going to be related to Sauron and their darkness, but clearly there is still pockets of support for Sauron. So I think the people at the Watchtower are going to have to look out for any betrayers, Someone might let these orcs in to get the hilt. Adar and the orcs now know that Theo has the hilt and is at the watchtower, so that's going to be a real problem soon. Galadriel is sent away, but when a bad omen appears, the Queen decides to instead help her and escort her back to Middle-earth. So they send her off to a ship and to back. I think they were going to send her back to Valinor, but they see the tree that when the petals fall, that's the bad omen, and that's when the ocean's meant to destroy the city, and all the petals start flowing towards the Queen. So that's her thought, oh, I better make sure that I don't send the elf away. We can all go help in the Southlands, because that's where the issue is. So this episode was great. I loved it. I think it's probably my favourite episode so far, because it's starting to really get into the story nitty gritty, and we're starting to move towards the main objective for these different groups of people. So I love the developing stories with Galadriel and Elrond. So Galadriel has finally come to common ground with the people of Numenor, and they're finally going to go back to Middle-earth and try and sort out this issue that is Sauron. Also Elrond, obviously they're doing the tower, and his relationship with Durin it was a bit iffy in this episode, but obviously he made us swear that he's not going to tell anyone about the Mithril, so they're all good terms. So hopefully Elrond can do his development and become really friends with all the dwarves. The settings continue to be amazing. I love the city of Numenor. I love the dwarven city. I love everything in this episode. All the settings are great. They're so high fantasy and mystical. It's so great to watch. The orcs are shown to be almost like a plague in the land. So when Theo and his friend go back to the village is like dirty, destroyed. All the animals are killed and rotting. And in the last episode where you saw the orcs making the elves build through the forest, that earth looked like it had been absolutely riddled with illness and plague, and that pretty much sums up orcs. They are a plague on the land and they need to be destroyed. Adar is an interesting reveal because we're shown he's an elf, and the orcs call him father in, I think it's the elf language. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's connected to Sauron. Was he corrupted by Sauron, or did he willingly join Sauron? So it's going to be cool to see how he's connected to the overall plot and see if he's the big bad or he's just an underling. People in the watchtower are definitely in trouble, so they've gone there to be safe because all the are open to attack and the watchtower is a kind of a defendable position. But now that we know that someone on the inside, the old man, is a supporter of Sauron, so there could be many more supporters that we don't know about, and they know that Theo has the hilt now, so they're going to be very wary and want to get him out. And it's good to see Galadriel's character grow. So in a lot of the episodes, she's very stoic and wants to get her point across, and she's like, yes, do it this way, respect elves. Halbrand is starting to help her to understand, to be a bit more diplomatic with her answers and not be so forthright about everything, so that's good to see. The only one downside was we had no updates for Nori or the Stranger. So all the Harfoots, they're still continuing their journey, but we got no updates, so hopefully next episode we get to see what they're doing. But yeah, I had a great time with this episode. I think probably one of the best, if not the best episode of the first four. So make sure to keep watching these episodes, because I'm certain they're only going to go up in quality and storytelling. So the characters are going to be even better to watch. But yeah, that's all from me. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe to keep up to date with all future episodes. And until next time, I will see you all later.